Hi everybody. In this video, we are going to discuss about double fertilization. Double fertilization. But before we go for double fertilization, we should recap what we studied during pollen-pistil interaction. Pollen-pistil interaction. So our today's topic is double fertilization. But in order to understand this, we should also know some points that have taken place in the process of pollen-pistil interaction. So you already studied that when you are talking about the stigma, okay, and the style. Here the pollen tube grows and it moves through the micropyle region. It moves through the micropyle region into the ovule. So this structure is what now? The ovule. Ovule. Where is the ovule present? It is present in the ovary. It is present in the ovary. Inside the ovary there is a structure called as ovule. Inside the ovule, very important thing that we are going to discuss now is about the embryo sac. Embryo sac. So here embryo sac is very important in our discussion now when we deal regarding the double fertilization. So quickly we will see what is pollen-pistil interaction. When the pollen grain falls on the stigma, now the pollen grains will produce the pollen tube. They are producing the pollen tube. So growth of the pollen tube, okay, growth of the pollen tube is under the control of what we call it as under the control of various types of chemicals. So that's why we call it as chemotropic movement. So pollen tube will be showing chemotropic movement. Please remember this. So what do you mean by chemotropic movement? Which means that pollen tube is under the control of different types of chemicals produced in the stigma and also in the style. And now we say that this long cylindrical tube is what? The style. So inside the style there will be various chemicals that will be produced in attracting the pollen tube to grow and elongate to reach to the ovule. So here very essential chemicals that are there. Very essential chemicals that will be there in the style are the boron, okay, boron, then calcium, and another one is ionositol complex. All these three are deficient or less in the pollen grain. So when the pollen tube is formed, pollen tube will be attracted towards these chemicals which is in need, okay, by the pollen tube. So these chemicals will be attracting and making the pollen tube to grow in size. So slowly the pollen tube will be moving, and we already discussed when we are talking about pollen-pistil interaction, that is that this pollen tube will be entering into the ovule in three ways. What are those three ways the pollen tube will be entering into the ovule? It is what we said is the first one is porogamy, we said, okay, porogamy, and the second one is chalazogamy, okay, chalazogamy, and the third one is mesogamy. Very important thing is through which this pollen tube will be entering is the mesogamy. Please remember that. Most of the common method through which this pollen tube will be entering into the ovule is through the mesogamy. Means what? The ovule is having a small opening. What is that opening that is there present? Called as micropyle. So micropyle is a small opening in the ovule which is not enclosed by the integuments, So through this micropyle, what is now entering? The pollen tube. The pollen tube will be entering now. So this pollen tube will be attracted towards the embryo sac that is present in the ovule. Please remember, the pollen tube is attracted towards the embryo sac. Where is this embryo sac present? It is present in the ovule. Now what is there present in the embryo sac attracting this pollen tube to enter inside into this embryo sac, called as female gametophyte. Embryo sac is called as female gametophyte. So what is there present here? We already discussed, saying that here if you are taking the cells present at the micropyle region, means opening of the ovule, there are two cells on either side, and at the center there is one cell called as the egg. This is the egg at the center, and there are two cells that are there, and these two cells are called as what? Synergids. And these three cells together leads two synergids plus one egg. Completely this we call it as what? Egg apparatus. We are calling it as the egg apparatus. So here, very important point that you have to keep in mind is that these synergids are having these synergids. Where are they present? At the micropyle region. These synergids are having the extensive extensive infoldings we say. What are these extensive infoldings present in the synergids? This is called as filiform apparatus. So this filiform apparatus, what is the function? What is the function of filiform apparatus of the synergids? Remember, this filiform apparatus will be attracting the pollen tube. So here, if the pollen tube is coming now, say let us say that this is the pollen tube that is coming towards what now? The egg. Present in what now? It is present, the whole structure is present in the embryo sac. So this is there present in the embryo sac now. So when the pollen tube is coming, this filiform apparatus will be attracting it. The filiform apparatus will be attracting the pollen tube. So as soon as this pollen tube enters means into which cell it is entering? It is, remember here, the pollen tube will be entering into one of the synergid. It will be entering into the one of the synergid. See here, there are three cells we said together we call as egg apparatus. This pollen tube is not directly coming in contact with the egg. So here what is happening? The pollen tube is entering into one of the synergids. So here is this synergid into which what is entering now? The pollen tube is entering, carrying how many gametes? Two male gametes. So when it enters here, this synergid slowly now disappears. It gets dissolved, degenerated. It slowly gets degenerated. And as it gets degenerated, now two male gametes, one male gamete here and another male gamete is there present inside now as though in the embryo sac. One male gamete will fuse with the egg. So here now one point that you have to keep in mind is that from the time the pollen grains falls on the stigma until, so here from the time the pollen grains falls on the stigma and until it reaches the ovule, it is called as what? Pollen pistil interaction. Now what we are going to discuss is that what is happening after the pollen tube comes up to the ovule. So what we said now, from the time the pollen grains falls on the stigma until it reaches the ovule, it is called as what? Pollen pistil interaction. Now we are going to discuss how this process will be taking place. How or what is happening right after the pollen tube reaches to the micropyle region of the ovule. So now we are going to discuss how the double fertilization will be taking place. So these points we should keep in mind when we are going to discuss about the double fertilization. So now we are going to discuss about double fertilization, keeping all that what is happening during pollen pistil interaction. So let us talk about now double fertilization, which is a very, very important topic. So here we have to remember the structure of an ovule. So here, now we are going to clearly study in detail about the double fertilization. So here is the structure called as what? Ovule. Where is the ovule present? It is present in the ovary. It is present in the ovary. Inside the ovule, what is there present? It is the embryo sac that is present. We also call this embryo sac as what? Female gametophyte. Female gametophyte. Please remember that. Embryo sac is called as the female gametophyte. So here, if you are just taking this now, the embryo sac outside, to understand clearly how the double fertilization is taking place. So you all know what do you mean by the word fertilization. What do you mean by the word fertilization? So fusion of male gamete with the female gamete to form zygote. Fusion of male gamete with the female gamete to form zygote is called as fertilization. Is called as fertilization. But here we are using the word double fertilization. We are using the word double fertilization, which means fertilization is taking place in two. Okay, it is taking place twice. Fertilization is taking place twice in all the angiosperms. This is a unique characteristic of all the angiosperms. It is a very important point we have to keep in mind. That is, double fertilization is a unique characteristic of all the angiosperms. All the angiosperms. So what is double fertilization? We are going to understand. Now here is the embryo sac. Where is the embryo sac present? It is present in the ovule. It is present in the ovule. So here, let us say that this is the opening of the ovule called as what? Micropyle region is here. So at this region, what will be coming now? We already said the pollen tube. Okay, the pollen tube comes and it may be entering into the ovule in various ways. We said chalazogamy if it is entering through the chalazo region. We said it is porogamy if it is entering through the integument. And we said mesogamy if it is entering through the micropyle region. Most of the common way through which the pollen tube enters into the ovule is micropyle region. So we have to remember that. Okay, micropyle region, mesogamy we are calling it as. So let us say here the pollen tube is entering. As soon as the pollen tube enters into what we said? Into one of the synergy. Please remember that it is into one of the synergy. How it is entering into the synergy? Please remember this particular filiform apparatus has the ability. This filiform apparatus has the ability to attract the pollen tube. So as soon as this filiform apparatus attracts the pollen tube and pollen tube enters inside, it undergoes endosmosis. So you know what do you mean by endosmosis. So once the pollen tube enters inside, what is happening now? It will enlarge in size. It will enlarge in size due to what? Endosmosis. Due to endosmosis. So here the pollen tube enlarged. It is like as though it is enlarged in size. This, let us say this is the pollen tube. It is enlarged in size. Why? Because what is happening? Endosmosis is taking place. Endosmosis is taking place. Because of which this pollen tube will rupture. It will rupture. At the same time, as this process is taking place, as this pollen tube is entering inside into one of the synergy, this synergy will get degenerated. The synergy will start getting degenerated. And during which time, at the same time, what had entered inside into this synergy? The pollen tube. And due to endosmosis, this will get ruptured, releasing what now? The male gamete. So this is all completely destroyed or degenerated. And what is released inside? Two male gametes are released inside. Please remember, two male gametes are released inside. Which means pollen tube is bringing two male gametes. Okay, pollen tube is bringing how many male gametes? Two male gametes. Two male gametes are brought by the pollen tube. So, by amoeboid movement, one of these starts moving towards the center of the cell. This we said as what? Embryo sac. Please remember, here if you are seeing this embryo sac, this cell is called as central cell. This cell is called as central cell. Please remember. In the central cell, this is whole the central cell. In the central cell, how many nuclei are there? There are two polar nuclei. Very, very important. Please remember that. Two polar nuclei are there present in the central cell. As this one of the male gametes starts moving towards the two polar nuclei, the two polar nuclei now fuse together. Will fuse together. Which means when these two fuse together, this is one end, this is one end. When these two fuse together, it is forming as what now? It is no more called as polar nuclei. It is no more called as polar nuclei. But the same structure, when it is fused with one of the male gamete, we are calling it as what? Secondary nucleus. We are calling it as the secondary nucleus. Please remember this. Secondary nucleus. Okay, we are calling it as secondary nucleus. Remember that. So two nucleus. Now it is a diploid nuclei. Diploid nuclei. It is a diploid nuclei. And where is it present? It is in the central cell. And what we said, the pollen tube is bringing what? Two male gametes. One male gamete fuses with what now? The egg. This is the female gamete. One male gamete fuses with the egg. So this is the male gamete. It is the male gamete. So let us make it very clear to understand how this process is taking place. So here, if you are looking at the embryo sac, here is the pollen tube. Pollen tube entered inside into the embryo sac. Once it enters, what happened to the one of the synergids? It starts degenerating, which means pollen tube entered into one of the synergids. After entering, it is releasing two male gametes. So these two are male gametes that are released into the embryo sac. Into the embryo sac. So first point. Before or after the entry of these male gametes, or which means before fertilization. Before fertilization, there is one change that is taking place inside the embryo sac. That is, both the nuclei. How many nuclei are there in the embryo sac, which is called as the central cell? Please remember, this is called as what? Central cell. How many nuclei are there? Two polar nuclei present in the central cell. These two will join together, will join or fuse together. So that's what we are saying here. Both polar nuclei of the central cell, fuse together. So once these two nuclei fuse together, we are calling it as what now? Diploid nucleus. We are calling it as diploid nucleus. Means what? This is like this. 1n plus 1n. So when they fuse together, it is forming as what? 2n. It is forming as 2n. 1n plus 1n means haploid nuclei. This is also haploid nuclei. Now forming as what now? Diploid nucleus. So two polar nuclei of the embryo sac fuse together just before fertilization. This is the first thing that is happening inside the female gametophyte. What is female gametophyte? Embryo sac. So inside the embryo sac, the two polar nuclei fuse together, forming what? Diploid nucleus. Otherwise, we also call it as, or it is also known as, this diploid nucleus is also known as secondary nucleus. It is also known as secondary nucleus, or otherwise definitive nucleus, or otherwise definitive nucleus. Definitive nucleus. So this is what happens before the fertilization takes place, or we say in simple sense, before the pollen tube enters or after entering, but it is before fertilization. So here, now once these two, once these two join together, now this is called as what now? The diploid nucleus. This is now represented as what? It is no more called as what? Polar nuclei. It is no more called as polar nuclei. We are calling it as diploid nucleus, otherwise secondary nucleus. So this is 2n now. This is 2n, diploid nucleus. Remember, two polar nuclei fuse together. So it is diploid. It is called as diploid nucleus, secondary nucleus, or definitive nucleus. So one change that occurred prior to fertilization. Before fertilization, there is one change. that occurred in the embryo sac. Now the second one, how many gametes are released into the embryo sac? 2 male gametes are released into the embryo sac. 2 male gametes are released into the embryo sac. Out of 2, 1 male gamete fertilizes the egg cell. Out of 2, here 2 male gametes are there. 2 male gametes are there. Out of 2, 1 male gamete fuses with the egg. Fuses with the egg. So, 1 male gamete, when it fertilizes the egg cell, it is forming again what now? Diploid zygote. Because 2 male gametes, both the male gametes, okay, both the male gametes are what? Haploid only. This is 1 male gamete and another haploid male gamete is present. So there are 2 male gametes. Out of these 2 male gametes which are brought by the pollen tube, 1 male gamete will be fusing with the egg. Egg is also what now? Haploid only. Haploid only. So 1 male gamete, here I am writing 1 male gamete fuses with the egg, that is female gamete. This is what now? The female gamete. Let us say this is female gamete. Male gamete is what? Haploid. Female gamete is what? Haploid. So these two join together now forming as what? Diploid, and these two together when it is diploid we are calling it as what? Zygote. Zygote. This is true fertilization. It is called as true fertilization. So out of 2, 1 male gamete fertilizes the egg cell to form what? Diploid zygote. It is forming diploid zygote. That is called as what? Syngamy. Please remember, this is an important word. Syngamy. Okay, it is called as syngamy. So, fusion of 1 male gamete with the female gamete, that is egg cell, is called as syngamy. Or in common, we call it as fertilization. It is commonly called as fertilization. So, here another word for fertilization we are using is syngamy. Syngamy. And this is also known as the same process. Okay, is also known as what? True fertilization. Okay, this true fertilization process, okay, is discovered by a scientist called as Strasburger. Strasburger is the scientist who discovered the process of the syngamy, true fertilization. True fertilization. Is it clear? So what is true fertilization or what is the syngamy? It is the fusion of 1 male gamete with the female gamete is called as syngamy. Another common simple word that we use for syngamy is fertilization. This is the true fertilization, actual fertilization, actual fertilization. And there is another word for this fertilization called as generative fertilization. We also call it as what? Generative fertilization. Please remember this word also. Generative fertilization. Generative fertilization. So here we are coming across 3 words. First one is syngamy, we are calling it as. Second one we are calling it as true fertilization, or otherwise the third one for the same process we are calling it as what? Generative fertilization. Generative fertilization. So who discovered this process? It is Strasburger, the scientist named as Strasburger, discovered this in a plant called as Monotropa. The plants called as Monotropa. Very, very important point. Okay, who discovered true fertilization? It is Strasburger. In which plants means it is in Monotropa. Okay, it is in Monotropa. So here we studied that 1 male gamete fused with the egg to form what? Zygote. So zygote is what? It is a diploid cell. It is a diploid cell. So remember, 1 male gamete fused with the egg to form into what? Zygote. So what happens to the synergids on either side of the egg before fertilization? They are present. After fertilization, the 2 synergids will be slowly degenerating. Completely, the 2 synergids will be degenerating. Degenerating means what? They will be used as nourishment by the developing zygote. They will be used as nourishment by the developing zygote. Nurse cells, we call them as nurse cells or helper cells. So helper cells or nurse cells, they are used completely as the nourishment by the developing zygote. Remember, zygote enters into a dormant stage. Very, very important point. Please remember, zygote will enter into a dormant stage. Dormant stage means what? A period of rest. A period of rest. It will not continue to develop into an embryo immediately. It is for a short period of time. It is in dormant stage. Now we will see about the second male gamete. Here one male gamete fused with what? The egg. Result is what? Zygote. Now the second male gamete with as amoeboid movement. With the amoeboid movement, this second male gamete now slowly moves towards the center of what? Central cell. This is completely called as what? Central cell. So the second male gamete is slowly moving towards the second diploid nucleus. What we said, diploid nucleus, secondary nucleus, because both of them are fused together. 1n plus 1n. It has given rise to what? 2n. So this is diploid nucleus. So another nuclei is coming, but this nucleus of what? One of the male gamete. It is one of the male gamete. It starts moving and it comes, and now this male gamete will fuse with the 2n. 1n plus 1n we said 2n. So with this 2n, another nuclei is fusing. Means 1n, let us say here 1n plus 2n. It is giving rise to what now? 3n. Very, very important. So how many nuclei are fusing together now? 3 nuclei are fusing together. Already 2 nuclei fused together, which are actually called as what? 2 polar nuclei. They fuse together, formed as diploid nucleus, or otherwise called as secondary nucleus. Another word that we use is definitive nucleus we use. Now what we are saying, the product is what? 2n. So to this diploid nucleus, one male gamete comes and fuses, forming into what now? Triploid. This fusion of 2 nuclei with the third nuclei is called as triple fusion. It is called as what? Triple fusion. So here, the second male gamete get fused with the secondary nucleus. Get fused with the secondary nucleus, which we are calling it as what? Triple fusion. Triple fusion, which is now, once this male gamete comes and fuses with the secondary nucleus, we will be calling it as what? In short, we are calling it as PEN. Okay, in short, we are calling it as PEN. So, what is this PEN? It is nothing but it is called as primary endonucleus. Primary endonucleus we are calling it as primary endosperm nucleus. Okay, primary endosperm nucleus. Okay, primary endosperm. So it is called as primary endosperm nucleus. Primary endosperm nucleus. In short, we are calling it as what? PEN. PEN. So at the center, here is a triploid nuclei, where it is formed by 2 polar nuclei and 1 male gamete brought by the pollen tube. So fusion of these 3 together, we are calling it as what? Triple fusion. We are calling it as triple fusion. And it is giving rise to what now? Primary endosperm nucleus. Primary endosperm nucleus is formed. Primary endosperm nucleus is formed. Now, once the primary endosperm nucleus is formed, here what we said, this is called as what? Central cell we said. Now it is no more called as the central cell. It is no more called as the central cell, but it is called as primary endosperm cell. See how the names are changing. It is in the beginning, before this triple fusion occurred, we are calling this whole cell as what? Central cell. But once the triple fusion occurs, this cell will be called as what? Primary endosperm cell. Please remember, it is called as what? Primary endosperm cell. Okay, it is called as primary endosperm cell after the triple fusion. So here we have seen one male gamete fusing with the egg to form zygote, which is diploid. Another male gamete fuses with the secondary nucleus to form primary endosperm nucleus. Primary endosperm nucleus. So here we are seeing 2 fusions. 2 male gametes are involved in 2 fusions. 2 male gametes are involved in 2 fusions. One it is syngamy and the other one is for triple fusion. So here what we have to remember, fertilization takes place twice. Fertilization takes place twice at a time. This is also taking place at a time, in angiosperm. So this is a unique characteristic we have to keep in mind. It is a unique characteristic of what? Angiosperms. Fertilization takes place twice at a time in the angiosperms. One fertilization is, we call it as what? True fertilization. One fertilization we call it as true fertilization. That is what? Fusion of one male gamete with the egg to form as what? Zygote. Another fertilization is what? Fusion of one male gamete, second male gamete with the secondary nucleus. With the secondary nucleus is called as triple fusion. Is called as triple fusion. So this process, okay, togetherly we call it as what? Double fertilization. Two fertilizations occurred now. One male gamete fused with the secondary nucleus to form primary endosperm nucleus. One male gamete fused with the egg to form zygote. So there are two fertilizations that are taking place in the angiosperms, in the embryo sacs of the angiosperms, and it is a unique characteristic of all the angiosperms. All the angiosperms. So that's why we are calling it as what? Double fertilization. So in simple, let us make it. One male gamete fuses with the egg to form the zygote. That is the syngamy, true fertilization, or otherwise we call it as generative fertilization. And second one is what? Second male gamete fuses with the secondary nucleus to form, it is called as triple fusion, and this type of fertilization can also be known as what? Please remember, this fertilization is also called as vegetative fertilization. Please remember, triple fusion is also called as what? Vegetative fertilization. It is also called as vegetative fertilization. Okay, it is also called as vegetative fertilization. What is called as vegetative fertilization? Triple fusion. So vegetative fertilization plus what? The syngamy. Together we are calling it as what? The double fertilization. So here we have learned how the zygote is formed and how the triple fusion is taking place. How the triple fusion is taking place. So here double fertilization is being discovered by a scientist known as Navaschin. Okay, he is named as Navaschin. Okay, the scientist's name is Navaschin. So he is the scientist who discovered double fertilization in the angiosperms, especially in the plants Lilium and Fritillaria. Lilium and Fritillaria. In these two, he identified the process of double fertilization, and these two are very important. Okay, very important points that you have to remember. So double fertilization is being discovered. Double fertilization is discovered by Navaschin in Lilium and Fritillaria. In Lilium and Fritillaria. So what is double fertilization now? Syngamy. Fusion of one male gamete with the female gamete, that is the egg, to form diploid zygote, and another male gamete fusing with the secondary nucleus or diploid nucleus, which is formed by what? Fusion of two polar nuclei, is called as vegetative fertilization. Otherwise what we call it as triple fusion. These two together we are calling it as what? Double fertilization. Double fertilization. So here the last point that you have to keep in mind is that zygote is formed and there are no antipodal cells that are there here. Once the double fertilization occurred, there are no antipodal cells here, which means antipodal cells completely disappeared. There are no synergids. Both the synergids also completely disappeared. So antipodal cells and synergids are used as the nourishment by the developing zygote. So here zygote is using those synergids and antipodal cells as the nourishment. And here we already said the central cell is called as what? Primary endosperm cell. The central cell is called as what? Primary endosperm cell. This primary endosperm cell is formed by what? By the fusion of one male gamete. By the fusion of one male gamete with the two polar nuclei, means secondary nucleus. So what is formed? 3N nuclei. Okay, triploid nuclei are formed. We are calling it as primary endosperm nuclei. Once this is formed, automatically the central cell is called as what? Primary endosperm cell. This primary endosperm cell now develops into endosperm. It develops completely into endosperm. So what is this endosperm? Very, very important is that this endosperm will be used as nutritive material. Okay, nutritive material, or it is used as nutrition by the developing zygote. And we already said what? Zygote is in dormant stage. Zygote is in dormant stage, we said. Once it ensures that fertilization occurred, zygote is formed, then only the endosperm will be formed. Then only the endosperm will be formed. We have to keep this point in mind. We have to keep this point in mind. We'll make it very clear. We'll make it very clear. Okay, we'll make it very clear. So here what we said now, a primary endosperm cell is changing into what? Endosperm, which is the nutritive material for the developing zygote. For the developing zygote. So here we understood how the double fertilization is taking place. How the double fertilization is taking place. So what is the importance of this double fertilization? What is the importance, or otherwise what is the significance of double fertilization? Remember, it is a unique characteristic of angiosperms. All the angiosperms will be showing this characteristic of double fertilization. Double fertilization. And the second thing is, it provides characteristics of the male plant as well as to what? To the nutritive tissue. What is the nutritive tissue? Here it is nothing but the endosperm. How this endosperm came into existence? It is the primary endosperm cell which grows into what? The endosperm. We said that this endosperm is what? Provides nourishment. Okay, provides nourishment. This endosperm is providing the nourishment, or it will provide the nourishment for the developing zygote. Developing zygote. So here this endosperm, how it is formed? It is formed by triple fusion. Triple fusion means what? It is also with two polar nuclei and one male gamete. One male gamete. So if there is a male gamete involved for the formation of primary endosperm nuclei, which is present in the primary endosperm cell. This is primary endosperm cell. So in this cell, what is there now? Even the male gamete fused with the diploid nucleus, which means compulsorily this male gamete will be carrying the male characteristics. Will be carrying the male characteristics. So here the unique characteristic, or one of the importance of the double fertilization, is that even the endosperm will be having the characteristics of the male parent. Very, very important. Even the endosperm is having the characteristics of the male parent. How? It is because this endosperm is formed by what? It is by the fusion of what? Two secondary nuclei and one male gamete. One male gamete means it is compulsorily bringing the characteristics of the male parent. So that endosperm will be having the characteristics of the male parent also. So it is not only in the zygote having the characteristics of the male parent, it is also the male characteristics are also present in the endosperm. Please remember this. Male characteristics are not present only in the zygote. They are also present in the endosperm, because even the endosperm is formed by the fusion of what? Three nuclei. Two nuclei of its own and one nuclei, it is the male gamete. Okay, so that is the second importance of the double fertilization. Third one is, here if you are clearly observing how many nuclei are involved in this process. Very, very important. How many nuclei are involved? There are 5 nuclei and 3 gametes that are involved. 5 nuclei and 3 gametes are involved. See here, what are those 5 nuclei and 3 gametes that are participating in the double fertilization? It is like this. 5 nuclei means what? 1 nuclei of the female gamete. 1 nuclei of the female gamete means that egg. 1 nuclei of the female gamete. Okay, 1 nuclei of the female gamete. This is 1. There is 2 male gametes. Okay, 2 male gametes. Okay, 2 nuclei of the male gametes. Here, 2 male gametes. Okay, 2 nuclei of the 2 male gametes. Okay, or let us say here 1 male gamete, 1 nuclei. Another male gamete, another nuclei. So total here how many? 3. How many we said? 5 nuclei. There are another 2 nuclei that are participating, that are 2 polar nuclei. 2 polar nuclei. 2 polar nuclei. Okay, 2 polar nuclei. So total how many now? 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 nuclei are there participating in the double fertilization. Remember this, it's very important. 5 nuclei. 2 are of polar nuclei, 2 male nuclei, and 1 egg. And 1 egg, that is female gamete. So total 5 nuclei are participating, and we said 3 gametes. What are these 3 gametes? 2 male gametes and 1 female gamete. 2 male gametes and 1 female gamete. So how many totally now? There are 2 male gametes and 1 male gamete. 2 male gametes and 1 female gamete, means 3 gametes are there. 3 gametes. How many nuclei we said? 5 nuclei. 5 nuclei. So that is also one of the significance of the double fertilization. Double fertilization. So now the last point under significance of double fertilization. Here we said that the diploid zygote is now in dormant stage. Isn't it? Dormant stage means it is not completely developed into embryo. It is not completely developing into embryo. When it will completely develop into embryo, it needs some nourishment. If the zygote has to develop into embryo, it compulsorily needs nourishment. So what confirms this? Here the nutritive tissue, that is nothing but what? This is completely called as what? The primary endosperm, which is nothing but what? Endosperm. Later it is changing into endosperm. So this is what now? Nutritive tissue. This nutritive tissue is formed only when the formation of embryo has been confirmed. Means only when the zygote is formed. Means in simple, only when the true fertilization, when syngamy occurred, then only it will lead to the formation of what? Endosperm. Okay, it will lead to the endosperm. Remember that. So zygote is formed, but if it has to form into embryo, compulsorily what should be there? Endosperm will be there. So after the formation of the zygote, this zygote will attain a period of rest, and it confirms that now this zygote will now develop into what? Embryo. Will develop into embryo. So then only there will be formation of endosperm. This endosperm, which is rich in nutrients, will be used by the developing zygote into embryo, and the embryo will be using all that endosperm for its growth and development. So here we have to remember that the nutritive tissue or endosperm is formed only when the formation of embryo has been confirmed. Only when the formation of embryo has been confirmed by fertilization of the egg. So once the zygote is formed, it is confirmed that what will be formed? Embryo will be formed. In that course of time, in that short period of time, what will be formed? Endosperm. And then only after the formation of the endosperm, then this zygote develops into what? Then this zygote develops into embryo. So for the growth and development of the embryo, what is required? Endosperm is required. So these are all the points which we should keep in mind when we discuss about the double fertilization, which is a very, very important topic in reproduction in flowering plants. Thank you so much.